What's going on, everybody? Casey here, the Small City Gamer, and I wanted to post something real quick, both as I haven't posted anything in a while on this channel, and I want to start doing that on a regular basis, and also to say a couple things about the passing of Satoru Iwata, because, in my opinion, the video game industry has lost a bright light in industry that is becoming more and more dark, in my opinion, with the way business is being done. I found out a lot later than probably you found out. I'm recording this. It's roughly 9 a.m. On Monday morning. So obviously the news has broken out. A lot of people have already spoken their piece about it. I didn't find out until roughly midnight last night. I had dozed off early in the evening after a long day. And when I woke up, a friend had texted me saying that Iwata had passed. And my first reaction was it blew me away because he was only 55 years old. And let's be honest, that's rather young for someone in today's world of modern medicine to go. And we knew he had health problems. He missed last year's E3 because of them, but I don't think it was to the severity uh, that his life was on the line. I mean, we knew he had lost a lot of weight. I don't think a lot of us knew or that it was displayed a lot or said a lot that it could have been cancer. I don't remember hearing. I knew he had surgery after or around the time he missed E3 last year, but I don't remember ever hearing it was cancer. So that was a shock. My next thought was kind of cynical, and I feel bad kind of admitting it, here on camera. But my next reaction was really cynical and thinking, well, maybe now Nintendo can get out of the rut and start making some money again, because it's hard not to put Iwata's face on a lot of the troubles Nintendo has been having with the Wii U and its initial problems with the 3DS's launch. Because let's be real here, the Wii U has had trouble with third-party support. Uh, it had a year's jump on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and those consoles each have doubled the amount of consoles and homes that the Wii U's, and I think the Wii U has sold roughly 10 million units worldwide, while the PS4 is up to 22 million, and that's with a year less on the market. It's kind of a problem. But then I remembered, and then I looked at everyone else's comments and what they were saying, and I did remember that he took a 50% pay cut as the CEO of a global, worldwide, international company to avoid people getting fired and to avoid downsizing, which I think sends a big message that this guy wasn't about business, he was about the industry. And that's something that in today's world of, publisher and console company CEOs coming from packaged goods and only looking at the bottom line, Satoru Iwata was a gamer. The quote that's been going around on Twitter is him saying, my business card says I'm a corporate president. My mind says I'm a game developer, but my heart says I'm a gamer. That speaks volumes to what this industry really needs and what we had with Satoru Iwata, in the sense that he didn't see video games as a means to a career. I mean, he obviously saw that, but he saw video games as a lifelong joy. He saw video games as something that he personally enjoyed. That, I can see him, every day after uh, managing this and running this global company, the company that you most likely think of when you think video games. It's honestly the first thing that comes to your mind. The first things that, you should come to your mind are Super Mario and maybe Pac-Man if you want to go back to the video games of the 80s when they became, global and became pop culture. I always imagine him, being the kind of guy that would go home and play the newest game that came out on PlayStation or came out on Xbox and wrote down ideas of how they could utilize that kind of stuff. Because, like I said, it's easy to put a bad face on Iwata based on the Wii U struggles and Nintendo's struggles as a whole. But you also have to keep in mind he made a lot of games that people cherish. I got my Wii U in late 2013 for 3 reasons. One was Sonic Lost World, which we don't talk about that game. That and Sonic Boom, that's another episode for another day. The second was Wind Waker HD, which I got the bundle for Wind Waker HD, and that was, that included, a digital copy of Wind Waker, a digital copy of Hyrule Historia, and a sleek Zelda Wii U gamepad. And the third was Earthbound, which had just been released on the Virtual Console not long before I got the system, and I didn't realize until after I heard he died and I started reading, the comments of so many other people that that he worked on that game and that he was one of the instrumental reasons that we were able to get that game in the West after, the cancellation of the English translation of the original Mother, which we finally got on Virtual Console now. I remember watching the Nintendo World Championships and losing my shit when I saw that Earthbound Beginnings, which is Earthbound 0/Mother 1, was finally getting an official release. And I haven't gotten it yet because I'm kind of broke, but you can bet as soon as I get some extra pocket cash, that's a game I'm going to be downloading and I'm going to be playing. And I'm definitely this week going to be playing a lot of Earthbound and a lot of Nintendo in memory of Satoru Iwata. I mean, this is the guy who was the first president of this family company. Nintendo was a family-run company until 2002 when Iwata took over. And he oversaw, the successful run of the GameCube, the hugely successful run of the Wii. I mean, people forget when he pulled the Wii, which was called the Revolution at the time, when he pulled the Wii out of his jacket and showed the world on an E3 stage, it caught everyone off guard. It caught everyone by surprise, and people forget that the Wii won last generation very early on, because of their focus on the casual gamers and then going to the hardcore gamer later, which might be one of the reasons why the Wii U is kind of fallen short. The same reason why the motion control gimmick of the original Wii, that was impressive, but it also came to the gimmick kind of wore off at the end, so Nintendo went to another gimmick with the Wii U gamepad because they saw the success of iPad and other gaming devices like you could do on tablets, which I think also shows the kind of insight Iwata did have. I mean, he did see, that motion controls were going to be popular, so he made sure that Nintendo capitalized that. He did see the rise of games like Angry Birds and Cut the Rope and things like that nature. So he did say, let's see if we can have a tablet controller be the main focus of the next console. Nintendo's a very Japanese country. They don't change unless they absolutely need to change. They are very focused on staying the course, which is one of the reasons why I think the system is called the Wii U because of how successful the Wii was, not realizing that that came to bite him in the butt, so to speak. But he did see, the future, and despite his, hesitation to jump into the mobile game market, and to chase after that carrot after so many others, had, uh, he eventually went after that with the partnership upcoming with DNA. And if Nintendo stocks or anything to go by, after that announcement was made, it it definitely seems to be the right decision. And you look at the Nintendo Directs, how entertaining can a CEO be when he's actually getting in front of a camera, in front of a green screen, putting on Mario and Luigi hats, uh, allowing himself to become a Muppet in the last digital event. Uh, the memes with him and Reggie fighting each other, promoting Smash Brothers, and the whole bananas thing, and just overall having fun. I mean, that was another one of his quotes. He said video games should be fun for everyone, and he wanted to make sure that whether it was casual gamers with the Wii and making sure your grandparents had one so that they can play Wii bowling during their own downtime, to the hardcore FPS crowd of Call of Duty, and that making sure that games like Black Ops and Black Ops 2 were still playable on Nintendo systems. Games like Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs, which are likely going to be Ubisoft's last mature games on a Nintendo system for the time being, making sure those games did find a home on the Wii U, saving Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 was in trouble for getting cancellation because Platinum Games and Sega wasn't able to get the money because of Sega's problems, and Nintendo stepped in and said, hey, we'll help fund this game if you provide exclusivity to us, and it worked. And in my top 10 list of favorite games of 2014, which I unfortunately wasn't able to produce because of time constraints and technical issues, but Bayonetta 2 was number one on that list. That was game of the year to me. And also having the idea of having Bayonetta 1 included in that package. Just having fun and making sure that everyone was included in that. I think that's going to be Satoru Iwata's legacy. The guy said he is a gamer at heart. And I say is and not was in past tense because just because somebody dies doesn't mean their story has ended. If I know anything about the video game industry and how Nintendo is meant to run, and how people who may realize that they're at the end of their time on this earth, and if it really was cancer that killed him, then he most likely knew. I think he had a plan set up for this inevitable moment. And whether it's, Reggie taking over the full company, or Miyamoto, or someone else entirely, I think they're going to follow what Iwata was doing. Iwata, I don't know if you can consider him a legend in this business, but he was definitely, like I said at the beginning, a bright light in this business where, the AAA scene of this industry is becoming more and more toxic as the years go on, and more focused on bottom line dollars than they are about putting out good products. Where games aren't made unless they can pump out yearly or bi-yearly sequels every year or so, like Call of Duty and what Watch Dogs is probably going to be in games that aren't released unless you can sell countless expansion packs or DLC, like Call of Duty and Destiny. Nintendo focused a lot about just having fun. Like they saw what Skylanders were doing and they thought, Amiibo was a good idea. You know, they saw what they were doing with DLC and they were like, that's cool and all. We'll charge a little extra for some extra tracks in Mario Kart 8 or whatever, but stuff like 200cc mode, we're just going to give that to everyone for free. Things like Club Nintendo, which doesn't exist anymore, but something like it is coming soon. Rewarding gamers for going out to buy their games, uh, and rewarding them with the possibility of getting cool stuff or free games. Uh, like Mario Kart again. I was able to get Pigment 3 for free just for buying Mario Kart because of a promotion they had with Club Nintendo. Ideas like that definitely show that Nintendo was and still is a gaming first company. And coming from someone who grew up as a Sega kid and flat out crapped on Nintendo for years, finally seeing that with a Wii U and a 3DS with Sonic stickers on it because, like I said, I'm a Sega fanboy. Uh, it definitely shows his leadership, however you want to spin it. Whether you want to put his face on the negatives of them losing money. But then remembering that they banked so much money over the years, especially with the Wii, that they can lose that much money for the next 20 something years and still be in the black. The fact that Nintendo, once again, at a time when, during the N64 and the GameCube era, after decisions that they made with, sticking with cartridges and being third place compared to the PS2 and original Xbox, made Nintendo a household name again. Nintendo is still going to have the stigma that people buy their console solely to play Mario and Zelda and Metroid and Star Fox and stuff like that. And it's hard to deny, I bought my Wii U to play those games. But I also realized, and it kind of kills me now that I'm only realizing this at this very moment. When we're talking about the loss of a talented and great man. But Nintendo has always been about making sure fun is the main aspect of their games and their consoles, and making sure that everyone is included in that fun. It says a lot about what a company is that can still put customer first in an industry where, and this may be just me becoming more and more cynical watching stuff like Jim Sterling and Movie Bob's commentary on the video game industry over the last couple of years, but games a game company where it's all about customer first, gamer first, fun first. A company that doesn't mind making fun of itself. Like, again, Iwata and Reggie at the Nintendo Direct, still watching them beat each other up, promoting Smash Brothers at last year's E3, seeing the puppets, all three of them, Miyamoto, Reggie, and Iwata, dancing to Mario music. Turning into Fox, Falco, and Peppy. It shows under that kind of leadership, companies can falter, they can fall down, but they won't stay down. And Nintendo's not staying down. And while they have had rough patches over the past couple of months and years, and while their flags are at half staff, in mourning right now. Based on the tweet I saw before I hit record on this video, there's a rainbow over Kyoto right now. Right over Nintendo headquarters. And I'm not, despite what my last name would have you believe if you watched my demo reel, I'm not a religious man. I'm not a spiritual man. But if there's any indication of a soul behind that rainbow that was over Nintendo headquarters in Kyoto this morning, I guarantee that was Satoru. And I think a lot of people who worked at Nintendo headquarters who saw that would be able to recognize him anywhere. Because he loved Nintendo. He loved games, he loved gamers, and we loved you, Mr. Iwata. May you continue and forever to live directly in our hearts forever. Godspeed.